For years, George Russell was a glorified junior driver. The young Brit was biding his time at the back of the grid with Williams, waiting for a position to open at Mercedes. But now that he's a permanent part of the team, he has finally made it into the big league, and it comes with a lot of perks. From high-performance cars to $1,000 suits, stay tuned as we dive into the luxury life of George Russell. First up, how Russell made his millions. George Russell has definitely made it, both on and off the track. The Mercedes superstar is enjoying life. While Mercedes' performance this year fell short of expectations, Russell more than held his own, earning 7 podium finishes and 1 race victory en route to a 4th-place championship finish, 29 points ahead of Ferrari's Carlos Sainz. The Mercedes driver is paying off, and he's getting paid the most he has ever had in his career. When he made the switch from Williams this year, he earned himself a $6 million payday. Now, that might not be anywhere near the $50 million that Hamilton rakes in each season, but for a 24-year-old, it's not bad. For all of the results that he's finding in his career, he still tries to stay grounded. Russell considers himself just the normal guy who drives around, but who just happens to be living the dream. So, what is the youngster spending his money on? Fast cars. Russell wouldn't be a true racing driver unless he had some serious horsepower at home too. And the fact that he owns a Mercedes AMG GT should please his bosses. The sports car set him back $150,000, and he said that he loves his little rocket, and his obsession with Mercedes cars doesn't stop there. He also owns a pair of Mercedes AMG C63s, which retail at a cool $90,000. In an Instagram post, Russell can be seen giving his blue C63 a scrub. Let's hope that he at least got a discount from the factory. Russell's car collection isn't so impressive compared to older drivers on the grid, but he has plenty of years ahead of him to build on. But where will he be keeping these cars? That leads us to his next big spending. Russell is moving to Monaco. There's one thing that almost every Formula One driver shares, both past and present. It's just over 2 square kilometers, one of the most expensive places in the world, and well known for its historic Grand Prix. That's right, we're talking about Monaco. For now, Russell spends most of his time in England. That's where Mercedes headquarters are, and his family still lives in the country. Russell rents a flat in London, but since last year has had plans to move to Monaco. The location is central for European races. There is a big F1 community there, and whether drivers admit it or not, the tax-free laws are some of the biggest reasons. Russell planned to move to the Principality last year, but changed his mind and put the move on hold. He said, "Just having the stability for myself back at home is important, so I can give it everything I've got on the racing." And that strategy certainly worked. He outscored Lewis Hamilton by 35 points. But he is still planning on moving to Monaco in the future, joining the likes of Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Daniel Ricciardo, Sergio Perez, and pretty much everyone in the sport. He shouldn't have too many issues finding a place with his new salary package. But what does he do when he stays home? We see George Russell in the paddock or bouncing around from country to country as part of his lavish lifestyle. But during his time off, he's happy to have a quiet night in. And just like his colleagues Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, and Alex Albon, Russell is a fan of simulation racing. You'd think that an F1 driver would want to turn off after a hard day of racing. Even when there's no Grand Prix on, drivers are often hard at work back at the factory. But George Russell can't get enough. He has invested much money into creating his own simulation setup at home to race with friends and fine-tune his skills. New driving simulation games could give this new generation of drivers an edge over their older colleagues, especially from 2020 when there were big disruptions to the F1 calendar. Russell began spending much more time online racing. There was even a handful of virtual Grand Prix to keep the fans happy. happy, and a top driver needs a top setup. Russell's consists of a Fanatec Podium F1DD, a Simicube 2, Asher Racing Wheel rims, a SimLab P1X cockpit seat, and Husingfeld pedals. That gear costs around $10,000. It sounds like the gaming setup that every man dreams of. Up next, what's George's passion that keeps him in top physical condition? And how does he spend his money with his girlfriend? So don't go anywhere. But when he's out and about, Russell dresses to impress. If George Russell were driving an Aston Martin, you might suspect him of being James Bond. He certainly looks the part with the designer threads and suits he wears regularly. The price of his clothes can go into the thousands, which has earned him a reputation as a sharp dresser. That led him to a partnership with British clothing brand Belstaff, who developed a George Russell Apex Edit and have become the official off-track outfitter for the Mercedes team. The collection starts with hats from $75 and goes up to jackets costing almost $2,000. Last year, Russell was seen sporting a $7,000 Bremont watch and a $12,000 IWC Pilot watch, of which he's a brand ambassador. Right now, there's no better model to pick than George Russell. He's young, on his way to the top of Formula One, and has a classic English style. He's following in the footsteps of his teammate Lewis Hamilton by cashing in on his cool image with brand deals and a fashion line. But there's more to keeping an image than just looking good. Russell also lives well. Gone are the days when drivers like James Hunt could be seen smoking before a Formula One race. The sport has become much more professionalized, and with it, drivers have become more serious about their training. A big part of that is their diet, and Russell is a big believer in eating healthy. Russell posts a glimpse into his diet on his social media accounts, which often include a lot of greens, salads, and fresh food. This diet combines the hard work he does in the gym, which can be several hours each day, and just as important as his physical health is his mental health. Russell's parents have a house in the countryside, so when he's not driving 300 kilometers an hour inside a cockpit, he enjoys the slow pace of country life, especially taking walks into the field. He has credited this to balancing the craziness of the F1 lifestyle and keeping himself balanced. Russell admits that he's taken a leaf from Hamilton's book by trying to find other interests to keep himself busy. Otherwise, the sport is a roller coaster of emotions, with campaigns going up and down with no notice, which can be destabilizing. That's why Russell likes to ride it out on a bicycle. George Russell is one of the fittest drivers on the grid. That's because he is disciplined and consistent. But a big part of the reason is that he has developed a passion for other sports, and his favorite is cycling. In an interview, Russell said that he cycles first for fitness and secondly, psychologically. He finds the activity relaxing, and it's a bonus that it keeps him in tip-top condition for racing. But cycling isn't exactly a cheap hobby. Russell has been seen out with a specialized Venge Pro that retails around $8,000. Lucky for him, his employer produces one of the best bikes on the market. The N+ Velo 13 Mercedes-AMG is made of carbon fiber and F1-inspired aero fins and has been specially designed with aerodynamics in mind. Only 500 of them were made, and they will set you back a cool $7,500 apiece. Russell is a Mercedes driver through and through. He'd probably have a Mercedes walking stick if they made them. And fair enough, they are making his dreams come true. But even the best job needs some time off. And George loves to travel. One of the biggest perks of Formula One is traveling. As more races are added to the racing calendar every year, you'd think that drivers would be sick of traveling. They make their way through 22 countries throughout the year, and sometimes at grueling back-to-back weekends. But with a full bank account and plenty of opportunities, Russell is enjoying the high life just like anyone would. Russell has said that he enjoys getting away from it to spend time with his girlfriend, Carmen Munt, whenever he has any time off. The two lovers were spotted in St. Bart's last year before he made his way to Greece to meet up with his Williams teammate Nicholas Latifi for a double date. During the summer break this year, he posted a photo of himself lying on a beach with the caption, "Holiday mode activated." What do you think about George Russell's lifestyle? And is he well placed to beat Hamilton in 2023? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you again at the next one.